So my new coil came for my teacher planner, which I'm super excited about. However, it is really, really big. So I got a 1.5 inch coil because the options were 1 1/4 and 1.5 inch. And I thought that 1.5 inch was closest to the teacher planner coil size, but it's significantly larger. So I don't know if I want to order a new coil and return this one, or if I just want to have a giant coil on my teacher planner, or what I'm going to do. And also, it is not quite the same rose gold color as the Erin Condren coil, which is more shiny, I guess. That's the rose gold coil. So I will show you what it looks like. So here is my teacher planner, and this is the coil. And if you want to see the rose gold coil that Erin Condren has, it's just a little bit more muted, I guess. This rose gold coil, the colors are not showing up right now. It's actually very pretty, but it's more of like a matte instead of a shiny finish, which is fine. The color, actually, I am very pleased with the color. But let me move things around. So that is the size difference right there. I don't know how I feel about that. Obviously, this particular video that I'm filming right now is my coil binding video. So you will see if I do end up using this coil or not. I think I am actually going to use this coil. And if it is way too big when I put it on the teacher planner, I will order a new one. But this was very expensive because I got a thicker coil because I wanted it to be nice and sturdy, like the Erin Condren coils. I don't know what I'm thinking. And I did get some plastic coils. These are just 1 inch coils that I'm going to be using to bind some units and Brave Writer Help for High School for Emma for next year. I don't know what I'm doing. This is why I don't DIY stuff and I just have somebody else do it for me. So let's see how this all goes. All right. So I don't have a clue what I'm doing here because I have never uncoiled something before. But I think, I don't know how to do this either. I need to straighten this out. That's not very straight. We'll see how this goes. Guys, this is a struggle. All right, so what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to, first I'll take off the cover because I don't need the covers on. And then, let's see. What I'm going to do is I am going to uncoil a little bit and then start coiling with this coil. Mainly because I do not have a giant binder clip to clip this together. Typically with other coils that I use when I'm binding things and I cut them myself, punch them myself, I don't ever use a binder clip. Everything is just kind of lined up well. So we'll see how this goes, guys. This is like a one try thing, I think. All right, so I'm going to, oh, I don't know if I'll be able to get, you know what? I wonder if I could cut this. That would probably be easier. Had to go into the garage to find something from my husband. Oh, I don't know where that went. Okay. This is intense. All right. So I cut off that little really poorly bent piece. And now I'm going to try and uncoil, and it works a lot better. But I also have to move this. I'm struggling. All right, I'm just gonna cut this other piece off 2. Oh gosh, I don't know where that one either. I didn't break my computer. All right. Okay, here we go. All right, I've done one hole. Actually, might not be bad too. Alright, let's see. I will start. Did I get it all? I think I did. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do it this way. This will be a little bit easier to just keep everything lined up. But you see how easy it actually is to turn the coil into the coiled holes. And this one is a lot smoother to be put in, probably because it's not sharp at the end. I probably should have gotten a little metal file for that. It's probably eating up the holes just a little bit. Now, when I first started using an Erin Condren planner, I saw so many people uncoil and recoil their planners because they wanted to add new things into the planner or add new pages or whatnot, and I obviously am not doing that. But whenever I saw people do that, it scared me. I didn't know what was going to happen when somebody would uncoil it and recoil it. But after I got my binding machine, I realized that the coiling is not as hard. And that makes sense because Erin Condren does hand coil all of their planners. So obviously if it was super difficult, they probably wouldn't do that. They'd have some sort of a machine to do it. Okay, that worked. It worked quite well, actually. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I think, is look at my other planner and see how they did this. Okay, so it looks like I do need to bend this in, but I think I might get a little towel to put around it to bend it. Just bend it to the side, I guess. This is just a little knit rag that I have, but you won't be able to really see this. So I'm going to grab it here and then bend it in. Now my rag, my knit rag. All right. Now, should it be more bent this way? I don't know. I need it to be this coil here. I'll cut it here. And then I'm going to wrap this around again. All right, now it is done. Yeah, okay. I can put my covers back on. Actually, I'm gonna change this to the Etta V cover because I really like this cover. Okay. All right, this will be fine. It's not too much bigger, and actually the pages kind of go a little bit easier on this larger coil, to be honest. So I am super happy with how this turned out. That was maybe a little more stressful than it needed to be. Actually, it wasn't bad at all, and I'm very pleased with how everything went. So I do still have a bunch of stuff that I am going to punch and coil just to show you how I use my coil binding machine. I will leave a link for that coil binding machine if it's something you are interested in. It is one thing that I wish that I had purchased a decade ago because it is so easy to use, and it is something that I have used regularly since I bought it 2 years ago or last year. Did I get it last year? It might have been last year. Whenever I bought it, I have used it so much since I've gotten it, and I wish that I had spent the money a decade ago so that I wouldn't have had to have things printed and bound at Staples or bring them up to Staples to bind, or just try and work off of the computer, which does not work for me or my kids. So the only challenge is finding good coils. These are plastic coils I get from I think it's Lamination Depot or something like that. They're a good price, and they come in like a box of 50 or 100, I'm not sure. And they last for a long time, but they don't have a whole lot of larger coils. These are 1-inch coils, and I probably need maybe 1 1/4-inch coils for some of the stuff that I have to actually coil bind. But I'm not going to keep buying boxes of coils, so I will separate things into 2 packets instead of 1 larger one. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to take you into the basement so I can show you, or actually I might bring my binding machine upstairs and show you how I punch it and then coil bind some stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just quickly go through how I punch and bind my printed items. Yes, that's what I will say. This is a TrueBind binding machine. It is a TB-S20AP. It's 4:1 for the coil, and this is just a 1/2-inch plastic coil. They're not really that sturdy. And I did notice after I started binding things that if I don't use a little bit of a heavier weight paper, it is not as great. It's really a flimsy book of information. I don't know what I want to call it. So the paper that I printed on is this Hammermill premium color copy 32-pound paper. I do like it, except it is very, very smooth. So if you are using any sort of gel pen or something, it's going to smudge. My kids use pencils and ballpoint pens, so it's not that big of a deal. All right, I just moved that over a little bit so that I can put the finished punched pages here. So what I'm going to do is I have this little plastic sheet that is going to be the cover, and then I just put it on top of this cover, and I'm going to punch it on this side. So I flip it upside down. The top is up here. I already have my pins pulled out, so my settings are correct for the coils that I am using. Obviously, if you've never bound anything before, if it's your first time using this coil binding machine, you're going to want to punch just some blank paper just to make sure that you don't have a hole that is at the bottom. You just want to make sure that your spacing is correct. So I just put it in, and the first one is very simple. You just push it down. I think this says it does a 20-page punch capacity. And so there are the holes. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set it right here, and then I'm going to just going to take a little chunk, line it up, it's probably shaking quite a bit, isn't it? So So I'm going to go through and just continue punching this. It doesn't take very long, but I know it's going to shake on the camera just because I have it attached to the table. So I will come back when everything is punched and show you how I coil it. So then when you have everything punched, you just want to line it up. I even was able to punch the wrong side because Lucy came in while I was grabbing papers and I put it in the wrong way. So I do have a section that is punched on both sides, but honestly, that doesn't bother me. So I just set this on the side here. I don't know, it works out pretty well. You want your pages to be lined up, and then you just take your coil and you just start at the bottom and put it through. And it tends to go pretty quick with the smaller coils. When it's a larger coil, like when I did the Erin Condren teacher planner, it takes a little bit longer because obviously you're going through a lot more pages, and that paper is thicker as well. So all you do is you just keep spinning it, and if it's lined up correctly, it goes really quick. And then you just want to go until it's about at the middle here. I have this little crimping tool that came with the binding machine, and I am just going to go in here and crimp it. And then you're done. And everything is ready to go. Thank you so much for watching this video. This is just my little tutorial, I guess, on how to uncoil and recoil the Erin Condren teacher planner, and then also just how I punch and coil my homeschool curriculum that I print out. I definitely recommend getting a coil binding machine if you are able to. It has made life a little bit easier for me because I do not have to worry about sending curriculum out to have printed or to print it at home and then have to go somewhere to get it punched and coiled. This is super, super easy, and yeah, I will have all of the links to this stuff in the description box, and if you have questions, you can certainly let me know. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye.